Oh, fuck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very good friend here with me today. He was born and raised in Farmington, Maine. He is 40 years old. He's a father of two. He's a bovine podiatrist.
There you go.
You know how many times I've practiced that?
Yeah.
Greenman and Sons Bovine Hoof Trimming. He also works at Perkins Tree Service, but he's a jack of all trades. He's a biker. He's an outdoorsman.
True.
He loves to fish, doesn't matter where, and a retired HELLRAISER.
Occasionally.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Travis Greenman to the show.
How's it going?
Thanks for being here today, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been what? A few months you went to my wedding, I think, since I've seen you.
Hell yeah. It was a good time.
Did the after wedding go good?
From what I remember, yeah. No, it was good. It was a good time. Yeah, good to see Joe and all them guys.
Yeah. It was small, but
Nothing wrong with
everything I ever wanted. I hit her hard the night before, so I didn't get to drink as much.
that. Yeah.
But whatever. I still had a good time.
Well, I hope it's your one and only.
I hope to God it is. It won't be another, I can tell you that.
I don't know.
She's a good woman. I love her to death.
Well, good, man. I'm very happy for you. And I hope you're right. Yeah. I've had 2 strikes, so, but I'm not opposed to marriage at all. I actually really enjoy being married. It just, I don't know.
Sometimes it don't work.
My judgment has been off a couple times, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
A lesson, a story, and
It's been all kinds of lessons for sure, but yeah,
dude, we're gonna hop right in.
sure.
We're
Let's do
gonna
it.
right into the roots, the childhood.
Okay.
What was it? You were born and raised in Farmington.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Farmington?
Honestly, it was great. Farmington's not so much now. I guess it's a growing town, but back then it was very small, and I don't know. It was a great place to grow up. I'm glad I'm glad I grew up there. Opposed to Portland or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you consider it more of like the old country town? Like let's say 30 years ago, you could
More
see
or less.
horses and shit.
Yeah, very small. Everybody knew everybody. You know what I mean?
That.
Yeah.
That's why I think towns should be.
Yeah.
Like a little off branches of
Right.
town.
You knew your neighbors, shit like that. It was
When we used to talk to one another.
true.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of what I'm doing with this.
Yeah.
We don't fucking talk to each other no more and bring it to the phone.
Right. Real people.
Well,
Yeah.
do you believe that? Like, how did growing up in that small town type vibes? Do you think that had like a profound effect and shaped your world to maybe a different degree?
I mean,
Seeing the duality.
right. Maybe, yeah, to an extent. You know what I mean? I feel like I can be more personable with people.
Yeah.
As far as that. But, man, I don't know. Then it goes back to, your own personal experience, with family and whatnot, too. Like,
Yeah, because you got all that. Small town means small town drama.
yeah, and, quietness, like what can be talked about, what can't,
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. Not so much in my own experience, but, I mean, I didn't have like an extremely shitty childhood. Yeah, my parents got divorced, things like that. I went through something that a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
A lot of kids, go through. But, I don't know, you'd see other people going through shit that didn't get talked about maybe like it should have, So,
But then it was a small town, so everybody kind of knew.
Right.
So it was
sort of.
we all got kind of along a little bit more because, hey, Joe's or whatever, fucking Ted, Fred, they're going through the same shit.
Right.
And then you kind of can chit chat like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
No.
Just real sad.
Yeah.
What are a few fondest memories of your childhood? Like,
oh man, I mean, I was a shithead as a kid, so just for example, like I lived on a somewhat slow street, So like during snowstorms, we'd build a fucking snow wall across the road, and like just lit vehicles, smash into it. You know what I mean? Just shit like that. Throw wet toilet paper at cars. Stuff like that. Like fucked around a lot as a kid.
Outdoors and plan.
Oh yeah, we didn't have that was our video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Outside, outdoors. Dark to dark kind of thing.
Finding a crook branch and then turn it into a pistol.
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot in the woods. You know what I mean? And like, I think about it now, like it's crazy. Like, I just venture out into the woods for hours, not talk to my parents, nothing, and just come back when it starts. Yeah, when it starts to get dark, come back. Like, dude, you wouldn't do that now.
No,
like, even myself, I'd be horrified. You know what I mean? Well, if I still had little kids, I mean, my kids are getting older, but yeah, I wouldn't be okay with that. Now everybody's got cell phones and
yeah.
So
how many times I've seen like just the fucking 5 to 8 year old at the restaurant. They even got them at the damn restaurants now. I got games and shit. Everywhere. What happened to the human connection?
It's not a thing.
It's like 20, 30 years ago. It was like you could see the progression of us kind of backing away as a species from one another.
Yeah. 100%.
And like, why are we so fucked up? Well, there you go.
It was a huge mental health issue in this country. There ain't no doubt about that.
Sometimes the most obvious answer is the right answer.
I've dealt with them myself, and it's been crazy.
As a child, were there any like pivotal moments in your life that somebody just kind of inspired you?
I don't know about inspired. I mean, my parents' divorce was a pivotal moment for me, but it wasn't an inspiration. It made me angry. But that shaped years of my life.
Did it make you inspire later down the road?
Maybe now.
Yeah.
As of somewhat recently, but yeah, up until like my early 30s, I was just pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I guess, I but also very unhealthy because it was just undealt with trauma that I just buried, and
unprocessed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very much so. Just not dealt with, not even realized really.
Stuff we bury. Everybody buries it. Either we take a hit of a fucking joint or we, get to the bottle. Hell, it could even be just, putting all that effort into work. That's still unprocessed in it. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't need a drink to be a barrier between.
Oh, yeah. No, I was a drinker. So,
It's one of the memories, the favorite memories I have with you is like, everybody knows my hitting a tree story.
Yeah.
The one night with you, like, it was like God's way.
What, on the bikes?
On the bikes. In the middle of a fucking rainstorm.
Yeah, like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Let's go for a drive.
A long one.
Yeah. And that fucking pine tree that was, okay, I'm like, just keep going.
Right through the branches. Fucking.
If there was another sign, there it was.
Well, and you're on a fucking Sportster, whack right through the fucking branches. Yeah.
Which felt like a hardtail. It felt like a...
Yeah, it was lowered for
my God.
5'0" girl. And you're running it, so, not super comfortable.
I think that I felt like my asshole was bleeding that next day.
It did. No doubt.
I think we took a break that. I was like,
we took a bunch of them.
I got to take
on the way home.
You're in a bagger.
Yeah, but, I was used to it.
I was not.
You're
yours.
Lowered 1,200.
Yeah.
But
I was, just so everybody knows, I'm 6'1". I think at the time I was 240.
Could be, yeah.
Probably a little too big for Sportster.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you're a biker. You're a biker. You know what I mean? Like
you're off that bike a bunch of times, man.
I can run.
But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
I'm a retired like Floridian biker.
Well, that bike was not built for comfort.
So fucking literally not. Still rode it though. I still tried.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a good day.
It was a good day.
Long day.
It was a very long day.
Yeah.
But I just moved to Maine.
Right.
Like, we're having a good time, and
Yeah.
let's fucking venture.
That was a Christ, we were up all night, never slept, and then went on a big ride. And
Yep. Daytime ride, which was pretty awesome.
Till it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was good.
So much fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
One of my fondest, like, just good memory.
HELLRAISER.
Yeah. So fatherhood.
Yeah.
When down to your core, what does being a father mean to you, and how does it change your perspective on life?
And for a long time, I didn't really know. I had a daughter super early with a mother that wasn't very involved, and so it just, I don't know. I almost resented it for a long time. I hate to admit that, but if I'm going to be real, that was my feeling on it. I was young and I wanted to be out partying and chasing women and doing all the shit that all my buddies were doing. And a lot of the time I was just home with my kid. And, so I don't know, for a long time it was rough.
A little bit of anger too.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, anger with myself and, the whole situation. Her I don't know, her mother's a shit show and still is to this day.
Do you think it would have been different with maybe if the mother was
Yeah. Absolutely.
less resentment?
Yeah, a little more help in the younger days would have been nice, whether we were together or not. You know what I mean? But but at the same time, like, I wouldn't be where I am and I wouldn't be who I am without that.
That struggle.
I have no idea what path I would have ended up on had she not, had my daughter not showed up when she did. So at the same time, I'm very grateful of it because, it's led me to
shaped and molded you into like who you are today.
Absolutely.
Like bits of shaping it, because it's all coagulated.
Right. And now we live together, me and my daughter, like we are bestest of friends.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah.
So like in the later years, that beginning kind of showcased in the best ways possible later down.
I had a lot of making up to do.
Yeah.
I did. I had to make a lot right with my relationship with her and my son as well, because there was a lot of years that I, wasn't as present as I should have been. And, due to my own childhood bullshit, trauma, as well as just resentment about being a young father and not necessarily taking the path that I wanted to go, but at the end of the day, it's my fucking fault.
Yeah.
My pullout game weren't that good.
You didn't get the truck with all the backup cameras.
So, but now, like, my relationship with my kids is the healthiest it's ever been. And it's never too late to heal that shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? To make it up to them for any lost time. Some people I see, just, oh my God, I've, been this or that for my children and I was a shit parent and they think it's too late. Well, it's never too late because your kid's going to love you regardless, so just make it right. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, show growth, do your thing.
Well, even time takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
has there been like what's one of the most rewarding part of getting to that point with your son and your daughter, like
getting
now the beginning of where you were at, like to now, and you being able to sit with it. Do you feel as though like you find moments in time where you're like, this is fucking awesome? And that's kind of what I mean by like
all the time now. Yeah, all the time now. It's
see him grow up.
Yeah. My daughter just turned 21 and, I'm so proud of her for the strong young woman that she is. I mean, she's 100% my kid.
Yeah.
She's got my attitude and, she'll stand tall. And I mean, I couldn't be more proud of her. And my son he's fucking crazy. Like, he beat cancer. I mean,
Yeah.
And he did it with a better attitude than I've seen adults deal with things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just totally
just to see him
is what it is, and fuck, he's my hero. You know what I mean? That kid is tough as nails, but he kept the huge heart that he's always had. He's soft and and I mean I say it all the time, like he's the fucking milkman's kid, because he's so much different than myself, but I say that, but when I was a little kid, I was him. I had all that, and I mean, I guess certain people still see that in me, but I'm way more selective on who gets to see that part of me and who doesn't.
Yeah, well, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
Some people don't need to see
the world hardened
everything about you.
And so I'm just more selective, I guess. On
now, you talk about. I was there when you're like when you found out your son had, was it leukemia or cancer?
Leukemia, yeah.
Which you're not a big fan of showing, like how bad that probably affected you. But you could tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How did you cope through those beginning parts of that?
In private. No, I mean, it's the worst moment of my life. It's the worst phone call I've ever got in my life. Having to look at my 9-year-old son in his eyes and tell him that he's got cancer is something I don't wish upon, my worst enemy.
No.
It's the shittiest thing you ever have to do. Because, at first
And how old was he at the time?
9.
Yeah. So he knew.
I mean,
he knew it.
At first, it was, "Hey, buddy, you have leukemia." Well, he didn't know what that was, So he's like, "Okay, like fine." And then it's like, "Yeah, but dude, that's cancer." And he knew what that was. And it's the worst moment of my life. And to deal with that, I mean, what do you do?
Right.
It's the most helpless feeling you'll ever experience, because there's nothing I can do.
Can't fix anything.
Right. You can't punch it in the face. You can't choke it out. You can't stab it. You can't shoot it. You fucking just have to deal with it, just like he is, and it's, I don't know, man. It's not a walk in the park.
How's he doing now?
Oh, now he's great. He's been off chemo for, quite some time. Almost 2 years.
Okay.
He's good.
He's
dealt with a lot of issues because of the chemo as well, So it's kind of tumbleweeded a little bit, but everything's getting planed out, and
his body's kind of working into finding him.
Yeah, like it messed up the growth of his tendons in his feet, so he had to wear leg braces to get his feet back underneath him. He has a lot of trouble with nerve endings in his stomach. So even as of right now, like he's getting Botox injections into his stomach so that he can eat without feeling like he wants to vomit, because his nerve endings go crazy whenever he gets food in his system, and it would make him really nauseous. And, but that's all stems from the treatment. So it's like, as far as I'm concerned, the treatment's just as bad as the disease itself, and
which blows my fucking mind. Like, why?
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that they can't cure this shit.
Yeah.
But there's no money in a cure. There's money in treatment. So
yeah, they don't. Yeah, you don't want cured patients.
No,
you want patients.
Right. Big Pharma wants to make that money. So,
well, hopefully a lot of that shit fucking changes.
Yeah, pisses me off, dude. Bad, and yeah, I've seen enough cancer to be all set with it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and the sad part is that with all the shit they put in our food and
everything,
it could just progress to even you might see it more. We might, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
I dealing with that fucking brain thing I got going on with the seizure and I don't know what the fuck that is yet. So I'm just kind of rolling with it. I'll know more February.
Right.
I told her, though, I was like, understand. I told the doctor to not tell me what it is.
Yeah.
I told them to tell me, change the way you're doing things, and then I'll know.
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer, the moment you fucking know, the more you just go downhill.
Yeah.
So I said, if that happens, just so you're aware, we're going to start doing things differently. Like getting the fuck out of a cold state. I'm going to I want beaches and I want to look at string fucking bikinis for the last of days.
I love Maine. I'll stay, but yeah.
I'll stay. I'll put it this way. We'll go somewhere warm during the fucking winter.
There you go.
Summer.
Yeah. Take a couple months off.
I don't think we'll ever get rid of this house.
No. Sure. Close it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has now from all of that?
Sure.
Obviously, you and your son have just gotten closer.
Yeah. I mean, certainly it was a really rocky time, he was going through treatment, and at the same time, like, COVID hit, which caused huge rifts as far as who went to appointments, and there's a lot of backstory with all that between his mother and me. It became a very rocky time, and I'm not going to get into that in detail, but his mother and I did not have a good relationship for quite a while.
Oil and water.
Oh, bad. And it just, COVID made it even harder, you know what I mean, for both of us to be involved as much as, we wanted to be.
Yep.
And plus some other things too happened throughout that time. I mean, I had just recovered from my motorcycle crash, and it wasn't, it was only a couple months later and he got diagnosed. So then I was off work again, and just shit happened between her and I that I was not okay with.
Yeah.
And
a shit sandwich.
Bad. And so it made things really hard. But, since then we have, come to terms, and my relationship with her is far better than it ever has, really. It was rough for a lot of years, but, now it's good, and my relationship with my son is better, and all of it, everything in my life. Honestly, since my divorce this past summer, a lot of shit in my life has gotten a lot better.
Oh, that's kind of like a sign from...
Dude.
That was the needed...
When you're doing shit that you're not ready to do, but,
Yeah.
It's never good.
No. Like, we'll get into that bike ride. I want to bring that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because, like, and then explaining that whole... There's fucking a hot minute in your life where boom, 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 boom. Usually shit happens in threes, but this was like square. It's
been happening in tens, and it's still happening. Like, there's still shit today that, is happening that, some of it absolutely is, I've had a part of, and some of it not even a little bit, but you just fucking roll with it.
Yeah, day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's get out of the anchor stuff. And we're going to kind of dabble into, like,
Sure.
Where the fuck did hoof trimming come from?
Hoof trimming. My dad was a hoof trimmer, 44 years, and I learned in my early 20s, did it for a few years, got out of it. Then when he got cancer, my father was diagnosed in 2020. Right after my son.
Boom, boom, boom.
My son was in January 2020. My dad was in June of 2020. So in June, he asked me to take over the business, which I gladly did. I had honestly, like a month before that, I had asked him about it, possibly getting back into it anyway. And so he took it back over, and honestly, I had a few really good years, grew it to crazy numbers, and it was really good. But
you loved it, enjoy it.
I love it. I love doing it. I love taking care of the animals and the people I work for. I mean, you won't find any harder workers than a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
And great people, I thoroughly enjoy that job, and but it's also a hard and somewhat dying business. Farms are going out left and right. I mean, I've lost 2 in the past 2 weeks from sellouts. So
what do you think has a lot to do with that?
I mean, I don't know.
Not big enough, or
yeah. I mean, a lot of farms, they're either getting bigger or they're selling out. But it's just not a lot of money in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you work fucking just to pay your shit, basically.
Work super fucking hard for the bare minimum.
Yeah. And then get told what to do, how to do it from people that don't even do it.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Some of the rules and shit for some of these places is just ridiculous, and then
like the healthier it could be, they can't really do. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Like raw milk, you get in trouble for selling raw milk.
Yeah.
Fuck is that?
Yeah. Rules, regulations, prices, fuel prices, everything. And everything's so fucking expensive, but they're still making pennies on the gallon. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's, it's a hard industry.
And for them, it's probably like a morality issue too. When it's like, dude, I don't want to charge $10 for a gallon.
I can't.
Because they're farmers and they're humble as shit.
Right. But on my end of it, like, I got to look at, in 2020, there was over 200 farms in Maine, and now there's less than 140.
Yeah.
That's a pretty quick decline. And like I said, I've lost 2 in the past 2 weeks from them selling their herds. You know what I mean? That's horrifying. Yeah. So,
and if it continues like that.
Right. I mean, I have some loyal customers that'll probably be around for a long time, and I don't foresee myself ever getting out of hoof trimming completely. I mean, there's always going to be some cows, somewhere. Yeah. But as far as it being my main source of income, I'm not sure how much longer that's going to last.
Gotcha.
And
so you got to create almost like a backup plan just in case.
Yeah, find something else as my main source and trim on the side. Like I said, I have some loyal customers and some people, especially a lot of oxen guys during the pull season that, rely on me and don't want anybody else touching their animals. And, so I'm going to be there for those people 100%, and I have the equipment and the means to do it. But I was also involved in an accident in October. A lady T-boned me and ruined a piece of equipment of mine that, was a main source of my business,
the piece.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A really high tech piece of equipment. And, now that's in the midst of a bunch of turmoil. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. And,
and just to to make sense, because I don't know if a lot of audience will understand, how many head of cattle do you do it and the reason why I bring that up is because you can't do that old school way. You can't just fucking hey, you give me your hoof.
You ain't it ain't a horse. You're not picking up a cow's hoof and just doing what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? So with my father's table that I have, 30 to 40 head a day is realistic, and it beats the shit out of you, but you can do that pretty comfortably. I mean, the most I've done on that table in a day was 70, and that was an extremely long day, but the table that got ruined in the crash, the most I did on that in a day was 140, and I did it in 7 hours.
So it upped
so quick.
Productivity.
I went from 8 cows an hour to 20 to 25 cows an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fast and efficient, but
which is good for the animal too, because then they're in
and out. This, it was roughly 2 minutes a cow, depending on what they might need as far as vet wraps and, if hoof issues, things like that. Cattle get all sorts of shit wrong with their feet, and you got to treat it.
Now, was it that piece that that video you sent me? Was that the piece of equipment?
Yeah.
So that just I'll put it up too. And,
yeah.
And
it's built onto the back of a truck, and super efficient. I mean,
odds are they'll probably see it in the trailer rescue type video too.
Sure.
A little bit in there, so that way
Yeah.
Like it's nothing like people usually think. It's not just picking up a hoof and
no, right. Yeah. I mean, I went from doing whatever 8,000 cows a year to I think my best year I did, I don't know, 17 and some change thousand cows.
Yeah.
So it was quite a boost.
I always like watching them when you post a little video.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So I do it with the pigs. And that's easy. That's fucking
a
little drum.
Pigs you put on your back and down their back and sit on them and
I do the little drum.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. No, it's again, like I trim for the gray animal sanctuary down here. I trim the moose and
no shit.
I check out the white-tailed deer and stuff. I haven't had to trim a deer yet, but they keep them pretty short. But the moose I've trimmed twice. And
How'd that go?
Well, he gets put under. They shoot him with a tranquilizer, and wherever he passes out, I just go over there and trim him. Because it's a moose. But
in my brain, I'm like envisioning like you using the table setup you got.
Yeah, no, I mean it would be great, and if they had a calf, you could train a calf to be okay in a table. You know what I mean? Halter break it. You know what I mean? Put a halter on it, lead it in there, get it used to being tipped up. But even that, like a moose, its anatomy, you have to keep its back straight up, horizontal.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be able to tip a moose completely on its side. I could at least pick it up enough to get its feet off the ground, so you wouldn't have to tranquilize it.
Yeah.
I could just strap it down. It would take me 2 minutes, 3 minutes to trim it up in my table, and then let it go, and it would be done. Instead we got to knock it out, and it takes 20 minutes to pass out, and then I trim it, and they draw blood. They do all sorts of other tests while it's unconscious, and it's an hour and a half, 2-hour ordeal. And as moose get older, it makes it more dangerous as far as their health is concerned, putting them under. So, if you could find a way to do it with them still awake and be able to cooperate, that'd be great.
Well, if you fucking do, I want to be there. I want to see that shit. Feel like that would that'd be like midget wrestling.
Kind of. Yeah. You ain't never going to see it again. I don't know how many people have trimmed a moose's hooves, but right? I know I have.
You should get a patch for your coat for that.
Something.
Fucking
no
moose.
doubt. Send that into the state of Maine. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what is everybody's got like a satisfying moment of work.
Okay.
What's been like one of your most satisfying moments
of work?
Yeah. It don't even have to be about hoof trimming. It could be just like a moment in time that you were working.
Well, I mean, I took over my father's business. Then, he got it to a certain point where he was comfortable and he kept it there. Well, I went above and beyond that. I invested a lot more money, and trimmed way more cows, so I would have to say like probably my most successful year of hoof trimming was, that was my highlight. Like, I took what he built and I made it way better, way more efficient, a lot more profitable.
Which obviously makes you just proud of.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of anybody else, I was proud of myself for doing it, you know what I mean? And I know he was too. And,
yeah, he's probably an old school guy, though. He ain't going to tell you.
And at first he was not. He's, you don't need to invest in that table. That's bullshit. Too fucking expensive, blah, blah, blah. He was pissy about it. But then once I had it and he could, he really got to see what I could do with it. And he saw, production and all that, like, his tune, he changed
his fancy a little bit.
I would have bought one, if I had been this much younger. Well, yeah, I don't know about that, but
sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah,
you can show them new tricks, but it doesn't mean they're going to learn them.
That's right. It was an eye opener for him, I think, too. But I did pretty good with it for a minute there, and yeah,
dude, for how long I've known you, anything you put your fucking mind to, you've kind of just done it.
More or less. I try. I mean,
we'll have hiccups every, that's life. That's just, no matter what you do, you're going to have moments of like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Had a lot of them. Yeah.
What helps you kind of stay motivated through the facing the grind of day to day, like just the responsibilities of it? You got like a routine in the morning that just,
I mean,
bam.
4 a.m. every day, no matter what. Get up at 4 every day. Drink my coffee, watch the weather, but I guess what keeps me motivated is I'm a strong believer that, everything just happens for a reason, no matter what, the universe, whoever it is, God, or whatever you want to believe in, like that they throw it your way and you're just supposed to take it,
Like the wind blows.
Yeah. Like I don't let shit get to me like I used to, and that's fairly recent to me. Like, just over the past 8-10 months, whatever, like, I don't know. I've just really turned a leaf with that shit. Like, I lose this $80,000 piece of equipment that was the main source of my business. And I'm just kind of like, well, guess it was meant to be.
And like before, you'd probably.
Oh, God, dude, I'd be burning houses down and fucking pissed, And I mean, there's parts of that story where, yeah, I'm getting it fucking dry from somebody who don't give a fuck. And it pisses me off. But, that's him and that's his shit. Yeah. And, fuck you.
Karma will get him.
Hopefully.
Who do you not get paid back?
But,
karma.
At the same time, like, I've felt like I've been at a crossroad for quite a while, and things keep popping up that are showing me what direction to go in. And, losing these 2 jobs over the past 2 weeks that had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It just is, the way the dice have been rolled and then all this shit with the equipment being broken and then gone and, and I'm starting to see a new path and,
like a pivot point.
Well, yeah, it's what road do you take? Do I keep fighting against the grain and going against all the shit that's telling me to go in a different direction and just nope, and ignore all that? Or, okay, I see the signs and let myself drift into a whole new thing. And, lately I've been more into just going with the flow.
Yeah.
And the flow is pointing me in a slightly different direction. I hate to say it, but, that's okay with me.
Kind of like canoe on a river.
Yeah.
Kind of roll with it.
Right. You got super shitty, rough fucking rapids on this end, or you can take this nice calm branch over here and,
sometimes the shitty rapids is kind of like the quickest
way. You might fucking drown over there.
Yeah, right.
But I can take this slow end over here and be okay and do some little fishing while I'm at it.
Right.
So, I'm I don't know. I mean, right now it's all way up in the air, and I need some more answers before I can make a good decision on what direction I'm going to go. But regardless, I'm not going to regret it. It's just the direction that the universe is pointing me in. So that's the way I'm going to flow, and is what it is. I'm not going to get stressed about it. I'm not going to,
I can relate to, so like this past probably, I'd say year.
Yeah.
Tattooing's been like that too. And I don't know, it's like even during COVID, it was pretty fucking busy.
Yeah.
You can talk to any tattoo artist around and they'll tell you the same. I hadn't seen this in fucking years.
Right.
Been doing it 15 years and I've never once worried like whether or not I needed to like have a backup plan.
Right.
And I don't know if it was the political standpoint of people saving money, which I could see that. Like, I think it was the day after the election. We went, I'm a big fan of eavesdropping or just learning. I call it observation.
Yeah.
We were in the grocery store and one of the cash register ladies said, I haven't seen this much cash in 2 years come through here. And I'm like, so obviously people were holding on to money. And with my job, it's just a niche job. If you ain't going to fucking buy a piece of art off the wall unless you got the extra money.
Right.
Same goes with the body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, Kelly's seen it. like I was stressing, like, do I need to start kind of pivoting? But then, you and I know, you can't just pivot slowly.
Right.
In a sense, like if you put your foot into a new business, you put your fucking foot into it, you run it, you burn the ships.
Right.
So it was fighting that, and I'm hoping it's getting better. Feel like it's getting better, and it's always the time of the month too. You get so. I'm hoping to God for you that, because I've been in that position too, where like, fuck, my whole life could turn up.
Yeah.
So I got to sell everything. Any payment that I have got to go away.
Right.
I'm hoping for you and the farmers that starts changing a little bit for us, because I feel like we need farming. We need
we definitely
the parts that go with farming.
Yeah.
We don't need this store-bought fucking fake food. Right. They're growing in fucking like a chemist person's doing.
Right.
That's not good for you. And I know that for a fact because I'm on the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Shit.
I've done it too.
So you get it.
Yeah.
Stir away from anything fucking processed, anything farms.
Right.
That's where it's at.
Absolutely. But it's, I don't know, man. Scary, but again, like I'm just, what's going to happen is going to happen. And, when the time comes, I'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So I just leave it at that. I don't stress about it. Like right now, I'm not in a position to make a 100% decision on what I'm going to do as far as my hoof trimming business, or if I'm going to take this other venture that I've been thinking a lot about,
Yeah.
I just don't know. So
sounds to me I got something I can learn from you.
Well,
hopefully they can too.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, man. I just take things in stride because I've wasted too much of my fucking life on things I can't control, So I finally got it. Like, bring it on, and when it happens, I'll deal with it, How
many years does that take you? 40?
40. Yeah, my whole fucking life, of being pissed off.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
No, hell no. And it's okay to start over at 40. Pick a new career at 40.
Yep.
Fuck it.
We talk to any fucking, you know how many millionaires that I've heard that weren't shit till they 38, 40.
Yeah.
And then bam, all of a sudden they found their niche.
Yeah.
They love doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's never too late. It's never too late.
No, certainly isn't.
Could be, maybe fucking 83.
Like I said, I'll always trim some cows. I love it. It is a passion of mine. And, I think I'm pretty good at it. So I'll always do it, but just what scale?
Well, do the math. You said your best year was what? 17?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
So let's just do the math real quick. Fucking shitsies and giggies.
Right.
We'll do 17.5.
Sure.
Divided by 365. You're looking at, on an average, 47.9 a day.
Right.
That's killing it.
I did good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve a fucking pat yourself on the back.
Sure. I'm not scared of working hard, and honestly, what I'm looking at possibly investing into isn't going to be any easier as far as work. It's just a different kind. But I'm not scared of that. I just, I don't know. I've changed throughout my life. I've changed careers a lot. I've done a lot of shit.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's right. I know a little about a lot, and I like that. And some people, they get out of fucking high school and they, I'm going to college for this, and then that's what they do the rest of their life. And I've always been a little bit envious of those people because I wish I could just make that type of decision and, yep, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it until I retire and, whatever. But I'm just not that guy.
Yeah.
I do shit for a while and I get bored with it. My father, he learned how to trim feet at 18, and he did it right up till he got cancer 44 years later, Well, and I've kind of come to grips with the fact that even though I do love trimming cows and I love helping the animals, I'm not my father.
Yep.
I am me. And, that might not be my niche.
A lot of people say that's undiagnosed ADHD.
Sure. Maybe it is. I mean, I've hit my head quite a few times. Like, so maybe that is my problem. But regardless, I mean, I seem to do all right. I'm a high school dropout. I didn't graduate because I had a kid coming and I had to make a choice, graduate or go get a fucking job. And I went and got a job and became a carpenter. And I did that for years. I did that for close to 10 years and did fairly well, raised my kid, at least part of the way.
Well, I feel like school failed me and I failed school.
Sure.
So I graduated, but I don't think none of the shit that I was taught, I fucking use. So to me, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And what could we progress into teaching children how the real life is?
Right.
Like the moment they fucking graduate, ain't nothing like they think it.
No.
My niece got a first paycheck. She the taxes getting taken out. I'm like, welcome to the next 60 fucking years.
Yeah. Right. Sucks.
They didn't teach you that in school, did they?
No. And I actually started taking classes I don't know, a month ago maybe to get a GED.
Yep.
And
awesome.
Yeah, well, there's other things I need to do to possibly pursue this other career.
Okay.
So I got to get that first, which I don't know. I got to get back to it. Holidays kind of fucked up the whole schedule, but whatever. I messaged them yesterday to get some more dates and take some more tests, and that's something I've wanted to do forever. I regret not finishing high school. It's held me back here and there. So
there ain't nothing.
Stay in school, kids.
There ain't nothing wrong with the GED either, though.
Hell no, I don't. Whatever it is, what it is. I mean, and it's never too late to get one. I mean, I'm 40 and I'm pursuing it now. And I've tried it twice before, and last time I was taking GED classes, Dad got cancer and hit me up to take over his business, and I don't need a GED to trim cows' feet, so I just gave up. And
one of them shift zones I talk about.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's just
Some
attention shifted pretty fucking quick, all in one phone call. He literally hit me in one phone call with it all. Like, hey Trav, I was at work. He called me at lunchtime. Hey Trav, I got cancer. Do you want to take over the business? I was like, holy fuck, Dad. Calm down.
She could have lubed it.
One thing at a time.
Right.
And so yeah, that's how I was dealt that news. But I don't know, man.
I know.
Yeah, just like a sledgehammer.
I was in the back. I was dealing with my own shit too. I was in the lane. I kind of feel bad sometimes for not being there enough for other friends, but I tried my hardest. I think we all had go shit during COVID. It was shit sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I've especially over the past over the past year, I've just learned to be there for myself. At the end of the day, that might be all you end up with. So
yeah, you gotta lay your head on your own pillow at night.
That's right. Find your own worth. You know what I mean?
Well, it's it's some friends too. I take into consideration that some friends are needy, some friends aren't.
Yeah.
How many fucking times have it been months since we've talked and we just hit each other up and it's nothing ever fucking happened?
No, I mean that's life happens. And, a lot of times with myself, I don't want to dump my life in somebody else's lap. I have a few close people in my circle that I know will support me through my worst bullshit. And they hear it from me, and I appreciate them more than anything. And they know who they are, and love them to pieces for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And they get the shit that not everybody else is going to hear about.
Yeah,
and but they're also the most real. The most real with me. They'll tell me when I'm being a fuck up, and I don't know. There needs to be more people like that. I feel like
out of anyone in your life. I tell my friends, my little circle too. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you tell them that? Like, out of anyone in the life, your friends should tell you when you're fucking being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Or, like, you want me to do it?
Right.
Like,
Right.
and it's not like it's a constructive, criticism thing. It's
Right.
like, no, I'm just wanting to make
Right.
my friend the best that I know they can
Right.
be.
Well, some people can handle that, and some people can't.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta.
I mean, nobody's a worse critic on me than me. I mean, I beat the fuck out of myself over shit, but again, like, since separating from my ex-wife and going through all that, like, I've spent more time on self-reflection and just that whole failed marriage. I don't take the lessons of, oh my God, she did this and that, and that's not something I'm looking for. Those aren't the lessons I'm paying attention to. It's the lessons that I've learned about myself.
Yep.
And that's what I've focused on. I mean, I went to fucking therapy a lot after that, and finally, for the first time in my life, I really looked inward. And, I've fucked up a few times, since then, and done some not so productive things with myself, but that's fucking everybody. It's human nature.
Yep.
But as a whole, I think I've gained far more from it,
And that's the goal.
Right. Realizing my own shit.
Now, you can't heal yourself from the outside in. You got to do it from the inside out.
Yeah.
And the same goes to, like, the country.
Right.
Any relationship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Yeah.
It's never going to be an outside thing. And it's like, I have a big, I self-isolate, which is probably a super bad thing in a sense, because that affects other people around me that maybe don't understand that.
Right.
But that's always been my go-to since I was 4.
Right.
To take care of myself, fix it inside me, and then progress it down,
Yeah.
And maybe it's something I need to look at too, maybe find a happy medium.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer in exactly what you said, going inward, finding out those little moments in time that you can adjust and mold and just make you better.
I mean, I know in my marriage, like, I did some things, some fucked up shit, not I say fucked up shit. Like, for me and my past, I look at my past as a whole, wasn't that fucked up, because I've done some fucked up shit. But, some things that definitely upset my ex-wife, and, I couldn't understand for the life of me why I couldn't, like, break those habits and, this shit that she'd asked me to do, and I'd be like, yeah, no problem, and then I would end up falling back on it, and but I also, like, throughout that time I got sober, and I was sober for 3 years, and that ended up being a double-edged sword, like I mentioned to you earlier.
Yep.
It took away that crutch, which was fantastic. But at the same time, all my childhood shit and all my traumas that I had never dealt with before came right to the fucking surface. And I had no idea, no tools, no nothing on how to deal with all that. So I leaned on these few little toxic traits and toxic things about, that I did to escape that, and it wasn't drinking. I found other things and didn't understand it at all until the relationship was over. I got into counseling, and, through talking with a counselor about this shit, it helped me figure out why I was doing it to begin with. And
it's nice having a little outside perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and the way it was explained to me was, it made perfect sense. Like, so you meet somebody, and you want them to meet you in the middle, and with my ex-wife, like, she was way the fuck over here, and I was way the fuck over here. And instead of meeting here, I met all the way over here. And and I can't survive over there, you know. And so I did it as long as I could, and it was destroying the both of us, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she can say whatever she wants, and she may not agree with that, but, you know, in my eyes, that was the truth, is we were both in a really shitty situation, and neither one of us deserved to be there, and I just was the one who cracked first, and I walked away.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I just couldn't live like that anymore. I was in survival mode all the time. I mean, to the point I was having heart palpitations, and fucking seriously concerned about my health, you know, and so I walked away. But then that began my journey of figuring out why the fuck I was in that position to begin with, and
which just made you better for it.
Yeah, you know, now, like, I feel like I healed to the point that I was done healing on my own, and, you know, so I went looking for that person, you know what I mean? And fuck, dating is a burning dumpster of bullshit. It sucks.
Nowadays,
holy fuck, dude. Such a riot. Like, just, it's fucked. You know? Ghosting is the worst fucking thing to an overthinker. I'm an overthinker. So when I get ghosted, spiral.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Like crazy, you know? And it got easier, but it happened to me quite a few, like 4 or 5 times. And, you know, 1 minute you're, oh, well, there's a lot of potential in this, and what a great girl, and blah, 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 all this bullshit. And then they just don't fucking talk to you again. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it, too, is fucking nowadays. Like, I was talking to a friend, like, you had to do 50% less work for 90% more women back, like, in my dad's age.
Yeah.
Like, let's just cut it. Let's cut to the shit. Like, they want us to be masculine males, but then to be soft little fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Which there's a happy medium there.
Nah, you just got to find somebody that matches your energy. You know, and you know, I'm tickled that I finally did. You know, I did find a wonderful woman who has so far so good, like, matched all the effort I've put in. I've gotten it right back.
That's good.
And, you know, it's nothing but green flags. I'm pumped about it, you know, and, you know, she's got children that are fantastic. And, you know, honestly, all summer long, I was like, no, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to get into another relationship with a woman with kids because it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, I get attached to the children, and then shit happens, and, you know,
and that hurts more.
Been through that.
And,
But kind of in the back of my mind, I always knew, too, like, you meet the right one, though, you know, you're going to do it. Like, quit lying to yourself, Trav.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's exactly what's happened, you know, and so I'm running with it. I've dove in, and I'm going for it. And she is, too. Super pumped about it. Really excited. Yeah.
How are you looking at? You got to use the restroom anytime soon? You
I could piss.
Okay. We're gonna take a little 5-minute break. We'll be back, and we'll get right back into it. This one I call biking. Adventure.
Not to be confused with mountain biking.
Yeah, no, not like not downtown Portland.
No, fuck that.
What? Now, when we talk about biking,
sure,
what does that mean to you? But beyond the thrill, behind the fucking, you know what I mean? What does that mean to you?
Motorcycle enthusiast.
Yeah. Gotcha.
No, I mean, for me, it's you know, it's therapy / kind of a life. It's kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I did live a lifestyle of that once upon a time, and it's had a forever effect on me, and it will for the rest of my life. You know, I hung out with a group of motorcycle enthusiasts.
Yeah. I'm going to put that in quotations.
Yes. You know, that whole experience was wild and crazy, but changed me forever.
Different. It's like a
I'll never. I don't regret it one bit. Even though not a lot of it, I can't say that, but a chunk of it was not all that pleasant. But something that I'll just cherish.
I kind of telling it too, like you got a book page and you got the writing on both sides, but then you got the page.
It was an experience that I needed, for sure. I think about it a lot, and just part of who I am now.
Yeah,
like it molded me, arguably more than anything else that I've ever done in my life.
Yeah,
so it's just something I'll always hang on to.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Now, how did your time as a motorcycle enthusiast shape who you are today?
It just, I don't know, it's real life experiences raw that a lot of people are just oblivious to. It showed me how I react to certain situations, and I mean, just that little fact alone, that was a lot of what I was looking for with that experience. Was, how do I do, and when put in certain positions, and
with those moments of like uncomfortability, you can learn to become comfortable in that uncomfortability.
I found that under moments of high stress and things like that, like I stay just like I am right now. I'm very calm. And
which, if anybody knows, it's the quiet ones you got to worry about.
I mean, I will never ever I will never label myself as like some kind of a tough guy. I'm not. I don't know. I feel like I like to think through my reactions, opposed to just
process it.
I see red and freak the fuck out. No,
not reactive.
No, I just, I don't know. I like to take a moment and think things through before fucking freaking out or whatever. Yeah. And which, I don't know, I found has helped me more than hindered me throughout my life, especially since then. Now that I'm aware of it, like I like to think things through. I don't want to react based on anger or frustration. And when I feel that way, I take a step back and I kind of just come into my own.
It's like people think fucking books are like it's not the learning that makes the person; it's the experiences that we create in this life that molds the character you have. So like, the more the experiences, the fucking better.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what those experiences are.
Right.
It's going to make you better, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that, I do now that have come from that experience that I never did before. I don't like to sit with my back to a door in a restaurant, and I do read a room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I pay attention way more than I ever did. And, shit like that I've taken from that, that honestly, I think is great. And
there's that old saying that the reason why I can read a room is the reason why I stay the fuck home.
That too, but I don't know. I'm just way more aware of my surroundings, no matter where I am. I'm paying attention to everybody, body language, everything.
It's not a bad thing.
No. Now,
the lessons. There's always lessons and everything, and I'm a firm believer that, like, at the end of the day, like, those are what we learn the most off of.
Yeah.
Like, there's like 3 tests on this fucking planet: patience, lessons, and every moment's a lesson. So you got to kind of treat it as such.
Sure.
Did you notice any like lessons stuck with you on the road? So like, what I mean by that is, like, I don't know if you've seen that new video with the guy sitting looking at this copper wire. It's been all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I have.
And he said, "This is 40 years,
this forever," and
those type of moments.
Yeah,
being on the road, throttling, like, go fast, don't die. Here it says.
Yeah. I mean,
Wise moments.
quite a few, but in a multitude of different situations. Not just on my bike, not just at work. Like, I've had a lot of situations that have sobered me, and I don't know. I feel like I've become very humble, just because life will fucking punch you in the face harder than anybody ever can.
Yeah, I don't give two shits.
Yeah. No.
How big or small?
No. This whole, things come in threes, bull fucking shit. They come in as many as they fucking want.
You're right.
They're, they don't have no mercy.
It's nature.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I've learned a lot of fucking lessons, and I don't know. I honestly, I've lost track because I feel like that's all I've gotten for the past 5-6 years for sure. Even some beyond that, but definitely in the recent history of my life.
Yeah,
I don't know. So many. Like,
has there been one that's just stuck out, or it's just so many that you can't articulate it?
I honestly, I can't put a pin on one that's more important than another,
because they're all
important. It's all led up to who I am right now today, sitting here. And
you hear that?
Yeah.
Pay attention to that.
It's I can't be like, oh well, this particular moment made me this certain way, or this particular thing made me believe this. Like, I can't do that. I can just say that everything that's happened as a whole has brought me to here, and I'm just embracing all of it.
No regrets.
No regrets at all. It's just is what it is. This has been the path that I've been given, and the path I've walked. So
now your bike wreck.
Yep.
I want to get into that.
Absolutely.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about within it, like what led up to it, what were you doing prior to it? Fucking
yeah. So, leading up to it, I mean, I was being a fucking degenerate. You know what I mean? Yeah. I went for a ride that was extremely random. I was actually at home doing some home improvements at the time, and went out on a bike ride with a couple friends, and it ended in disaster. And but it was just a random day, random time, and ended up doing some drinking, and it was going way too fucking fast. So I came into a corner. I only know my speed. My speedometer was broke on my bike, so I knew I was hauling ass, but I didn't really know. But I passed a cop, so that's how I know more or less how fast I was going. Yeah, because I had just passed like 5 cars and came up over this knoll. And when I hit the top of the knoll, I met a Franklin County sheriff, and he clocked me at 98 or 95.
Which on a motorcycle doesn't feel that fast.
No, but on a 98 Heritage with 8 hangers, and I mean, I knew I was fucking clipping. I just passed a shitload of vehicles, like I knew.
Yeah.
And I remember it all clear as day. Like, I remember meeting that cop and,
probably giggled.
Fucking hands up, looking in my rear view, looking for lights, and he didn't even roll a light. And he said he hit me with his rear radar, and I had only picked up speed. I was doing like 98 by the time I was by him, which I know I didn't lit off. Like, he wasn't chasing me, so fuck you. Yeah. I'm going to keep going. Well, it wasn't a quarter mile later, I ate shit, but I came into that corner and I went way high so that I could dip down low and make the corner at whatever, 90 miles an hour, and got into a high speed wobble. And I was probably still doing 90. And when my rear tire left the pavement, I remember just holding the fucking bike right to the handlebar, because because I wanted to shoot myself back out onto the tar. Well, it didn't happen. And I rooster-tailed. Bike came out from underneath me. I remember looking under my left arm, looking at the pavement as it was coming towards me as I went down, and verbally out loud saying, fuck.
Yeah.
And smack. And kind of remember my friend Nate talking to me in the ditch. So I came to rest in a ditch, face down in like a foot of water or something. I was drowning. And Nate flipped me over, held me up out of the water. I remember him talking about the bartender's tits because we were at a bar with this bartender that had fucking gazungas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, Trav, like, think of her tits, remember her tits, you know, and I like very vaguely remember that. And whatever, then I was out again and came back to in Franklin Memorial Hospital right before my life flight. And
you smoked your fucking noggin.
Oh yeah. All kinds of injuries. Yeah. So I fractured my skull. I broke my eye socket. I broke both my arms. I broke my C1 and C2 vertebrae in my neck. I had third-degree burns all down the right side of my back and down onto my ass cheek that all had to be skin grafted. I mean, it was fucked. You know,
and about to be fucked for months. So.
Yeah, I mean, at first, they didn't know if I was going to live. Like, you know, there's a picture of me laying there in a neck brace, all fucking blood and shit. You know, that I think it was my sister that took the picture, but that might have been possibly the last picture that I had of me alive. You know, because at first they weren't sure.
Well, I think our buddy, a mutual friend, Heck, he kept a lot of us updated on it too, because he was working in the hospital.
Yes.
Flight.
Yeah. And I woke up.
I'll say, not really.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, I woke up right before my life flight. The nurse was getting ready to put a catheter in me. And my father was there, my girlfriend at the time, a friend of mine was there. And I just remember the nurse being like, I'm going to put a catheter in you. And I was pissed because I had a neck brace on. The back of my head was scun all to shit and it hurt. Yeah. And the neck brace was sitting on it. So I was bitching a lot about that. And like, I remember opening my eyes, looking at my girlfriend at the time, being like, where the fuck is my bike? And she's all, Trav, you don't have a bike anymore. And, you know, which turns out that was a lie. I did have a bike. I still had a motor and a transmission that I saved. So fuck that. But, and then the nurse came in. My father was standing here. And she's like, well, you know, I got to put this catheter in you before you get on the helicopter. And I was all drugged up and shit. And I'm like, oh, well, if you go through the bottom of my fucking gown from the ankle, you'll get to it quicker, you know, and fucking just fucking with it. My father's laughing, like, you know, and she's like, you keep talking like that, I'm going to put the biggest one I can get inside you and fucking do it, bitch, whatever. But, you know, fond memories before death. Yeah. And then I got into the helicopter. It hurt like fuck. My this elbow was disconnected somewhere up in this region, and my hand was fucking flipped around. So it hurt a lot. Yeah. And when I got into that helicopter, this shit was hitting up against the door. And once those blades started chopping along, it was like smacking the door. So the dude in the back with me is like, just hold up your thumb, and as long as your thumb's up, I'll keep giving you morphine. So I fucking just sat there like, do it.
Please.
Yeah, I woke up like a day later, down in Portland, spent 2 weeks in the ICU. And, you know, they even missed some of my injuries. Like, I ripped my pec muscle completely off the shoulder, and it all balled up in my chest, and they missed that because I just had way worse injuries. And so that's been kind of like a ongoing issue, but it's deteriorating. So, you know, my shoulder and my back muscles have compensated for that one being gone.
Yep.
So, it's okay now. And then this arm, I call it my short arm because it won't straighten out.
Yep.
I
got similar issues.
Yeah, that's it. If I can't reach with my right, I can reach it with my left. And
let me get on the other side.
Right. So
hand me that wrench.
Yeah, that's been it. I mean, I should have died, or at least not been able to walk. And it took me 10, maybe 11 months of recovery. I was in a neck brace for 10 months. And then at month 11, I went back to work, and honestly, I got hired because COVID had hit by then. So, well, actually, no, let me backtrack. I got a job as a carpenter, and then COVID hit. So I was only a carpenter for like a month or two.
Yeah.
COVID hit. Then I got hired by this farmer to clear a old pasture. So he gave me a tractor. I had my own chainsaw and shit. So I started cutting wood, basically, felling trees, and that was fantastic rehab for my arms. Because after 10 months, I just had like fucking noodle arms. You know what I mean?
I'm strong,
right?
Man.
No, I wasn't strong at all. I couldn't even do a fucking push up, nothing. So. But holding onto a chainsaw all day and dropping trees and then bucking it all up into firewood and everything, it was great. And then it was just on from there. But, it was the mental part of crashing, almost dying was
it fucks with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a mental fuck for sure.
And like, there's only two directions.
Right.
And from what I've been told by you, you went one of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I, instead of looking at it as like, oh my God, this is my chance to build my perfect life, I went to, I'm fucking indestructible, watch me go.
Yeah.
And, you can't do much, with two broken arms, but I could drink like a motherfucker. So I went to drinking, and maybe not the smartest choice. And it, definitely wasn't. Not maybe. There's no maybe about it. Like,
and during COVID too.
Right.
Like
it's COVID, but with a neck brace on, two broken arms, I could sit in a bar and suck on a straw.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Fuck that. I just survived something that a lot of people wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And honestly, a guy where I crashed, a guy died right in that same corner going the speed. So, I just felt like I could do anything. And
fuck it, I'm winning.
That's right. So I went to drinking, and by the end of it, it had fucked me all up. I was a full blown drunk.
Well, then, like what you said, I think it was 2 months. 2 months later, fucking your son.
Oh yeah. And
your dad.
Right. I recovered, and I went back to work, and then January of 2020, my son got cancer, and so I dealt with all that, and then
your dad.
Right. Then my old man in June of 2020 got diagnosed with cancer. So I was dealing with both of them going through chemo at the same time. And
then your dad had an issue with the house.
Right. Then in 2023, my father's house burnt to the ground.
While dealing with cancer.
Right. At 3:00 in the morning. Yeah. He lost everything. Yeah. Two cats and everything he ever owned. And, it was just fucked.
Yeah.
It was fucked, and amidst all that, I got sober, which was great, but it was such an internal battle.
Yeah.
And, and then this past spring, my marriage fell apart and went through a divorce, and
Did you go back to like what you prior to what you would have done, or did you look at this a whole new
not completely basket? No, not completely. Like I'm going to disappoint some people right now and be honest with everybody that, I have broken my sobriety. And, I know there's a few family members that are going to be disappointed to hear that. So sorry, guys. But yeah, but not completely. Like, I put myself.
You're not a shithead about it.
No, I've been far better about it. I've had my moments. I've had a couple moments for sure. But I put myself into therapy, and I turned inward more than I ever have in my life.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Because it set me up for where I strongly believe I'm headed right now, which is the best place I've ever been in my life. I truly believe that. Like, all this shit, the accident that happened in October ruining my equipment, all this shit, it's all just part of the bigger plan, Well,
that too, and you're creating that tool set that you talked to, fucking 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You didn't have the tools to deal with things. Right. Now you're creating that tool set that is going to allow you just to keep pushing.
Right. I mean, I've been able to notice when I'm getting slightly out of control.
Yep.
Like this summer, it was the first time I had another Harley since I crashed in 19.
I won't lie, I was a little, as a friend, just knowing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I even prayed to God a couple of times. I'm like, just let him be good.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay. There was a few times that I could have been better. But, I rode that bike to the fullest extent that bike could go.
Yeah. Like our videos, you'll see it in like the trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
just burnouts.
No, yeah, that's minor. No, that's minor shit. There's things that I did that aren't on video that,
It's a good thing. Sometimes things don't need to be on video.
I had to push myself too to the breaking point a few times just to remind myself that I'm alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get into that heartbreak type hole.
Yep.
And okay, what's going to make me feel like I'm still a human being? Well, maybe it's doing this or that, or
getting real close to.
Yeah. So I did those things, and and it's all good. It turned out good.
Yeah.
But
I call it a purge.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just you got to purge your shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know.
And I think people that don't purge, like, it requires a whole nother level of strength to understand where you're at. And knowing, like, we're all going to have fucking crutches. We're all going to have these moments in time where we're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been judged a few times over this past summer by people that, I'd hear their opinions or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, motherfucker, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I know goddamn well that you're doing shit behind closed doors. Just because I'm not behind closed doors and I'm not fucking pretending that I'm somebody that I'm not, like, doesn't give you the fucking right to judge me. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's another part of growing up in some small ass town, with people that they're still judging you based on shit you did 10 years ago.
Yeah. But we're perfect.
Oh, no doubt,
It doesn't say.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, hey, look, we keep shit behind closed doors, so we're better than you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I honestly, I don't have time for people like that anymore, these half-assed friends, and you know what I mean? Like, I just am who I am, and I own it. And that's one thing that even I've had to work towards these days is, I'm a fuck up. I fuck up. I have fucked up, but I never stopped trying to improve.
Yeah.
And fuck these motherfuckers that think,
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I just drink at home. I don't drink out, at the bar anymore. Oh, okay. Well, you must be so much better of a human being than me.
Let's put your pinky up.
Yeah, fuck you. Like, and I just, and these are the same people that, just a matter of a couple of years ago, were raising hell with me just like I am, and
So you got to see both sides.
Yeah, like
and then like
no room.
Calling the kettle.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
No room to talk at all, but you go ahead and talk, and you do what you want to do.
Hopefully they stub their fucking toe.
Honestly, I wish them nothing but the best.
While stubbing a toe
with everything, with everybody. My ex-wife. I wish you the best with your new fiance and your baby and all the shit. Like, at one point in time, I was deeply in love with that woman. I wish her nothing but the best.
Yep.
And she can hate me all she wants. Yep. I will not hate her back. I'm not going to stoop to that. All these motherfuckers that judge me based on, well, dude, I saw you fucking hammered drunk that night. Yeah, maybe I was, but I'm not going to deny it. I'm not fucking perfect. Maybe you are now. Okay, glad you are.
Nobody's
perfect. I'm not, and I don't have any issue owning up to that either.
Yep. All how it is.
Yeah, people keep shit secret, and they tuck shit away, and
it weighs on it. It doesn't make you a better person.
Everybody comes to certain stages of their life in different phases, like. And I'm definitely evolving into a different stage of my life right now as we speak, but a month ago, 2 months ago, I was in a totally different spot. Yeah. And that, I don't know. Some people, they make a choice and they go with it, and that's what they do, and they're fucking saved. Congratulations. For myself, mine's been more of a roller coaster like this, where I do real great, and then I fall off a little bit, and I realize it, and then I straighten my ass back out, and like I said, throughout the summer and up till now, like I healed to the point where I was like, okay, this is as far as I'm going to go. Now I need to find that person that's going to help me heal the rest of the way. I need to find that person that acts right so that I can act right, so we can act right together.
Yep.
And I found it. And it's fantastic.
Well, it's like even a heartbeat. Even a heartbeat goes up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like life.
Right.
Like there's no fucking straight path.
No.
Success isn't a straight path.
Right. And what might work for him or him doesn't work for me.
Yep.
So don't shit on me about it. Like that's just, it is what it is. Like, and I don't know. I don't shit on anybody for their own life path, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
You're going to have good times and bad, and you just roll with it. And, I hope that people realize it on their own so that they can make adjustments and changes to make it better.
Yeah, I'm out forever. We're all in this fucking together.
Yeah.
I want everybody to win.
Yeah. But I'm not going to not talk to somebody or, think differently of them just because they had a hard night and they got fucking hammered drunk and did something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, well, you were going through some shit. And,
we've all done it.
Right. It's shitty. I'm sorry to hear that, but I love you. And,
just do better, be better.
Right. Right. Understand it. Move forward, and, and I've cut some people off. I've walked away from some relationships lately, some friendships that, I just was like, fuck, this is not
one-sided.
It's just not, it's not adding to my life. And, or some things have just gotten to the point they're overwhelming. As much as I love the person, I didn't want to walk away, but I had to, at least for a moment, but I still love and cherish that relationship. It's just, I had to take a step back, and, and then other people, I'm like, you know what, fuck you. And I'll never talk to you again. And that's okay with me. Yeah. I don't, I'm not hanging on to
3
shit.
years ago, I think 2 years ago.
I
fucking snipped a bunch.
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I have no issue blocking or deleting or just never talking to somebody again if they're not adding to, to some positivity in my life. Or,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not hanging on to those anymore. Yeah.
Now, from all of that,
Yeah.
the shit sandwich,
Yeah.
all the lessons you've learned, and like I've never really asked you this question before.
Let's hear it.
Everything you've been through, like we have never talked about spirituality or faith or
Sure.
fate even. Has it changed any? Are you still like, because you talk about on the path, you talk about everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And like maybe that's like an idea of based off of like, okay, this is the path that's already focused for me and I'm shifting into it. Like that river flowing.
Right.
Have you found yourself from like, let's say 20 years ago to now looking at that stuff a little different? Learned anything?
I guess I don't know about the whole like God per se.
Yeah.
Like I'm not cut off to it. You know, I'm open-minded about that, but I have embraced just the universe in general.
Okay.
That
It's more off like from a spirituality.
Yeah,
extent.
like spiritually, like the universe gives you exactly what was coming your way, whether it's good or bad, or you know, you never actually know the outcome of certain things, but you know, I 100% believe that everything that's come my way, everything that's happened with my business, with my personal life, with my social life, everything there's a point to it. It's bringing me to exactly where I need to be, and I have maybe even a little bit too much faith in that.
Yeah.
But I do, and it feels good, and it's kept me very calm and humble. And you know, I've been in a few situations as of recently that you know people were like, you know, how come you're not burning that fucking guy's house down? Well, because like this is just supposed to happen. And you know, so it's kept me at a very neutral place in my life that I've never been at before. And you know, a few years back, like yeah, maybe I would have been freaking out or you know whatever,
Burn the fucking house down,
right? Reacting, you know what I mean? But I'm not, and I prefer not to. You know, for me, it's brought me a lot of internal peace that I've been looking for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
I was angry for far too long in my life. And now it's just, you know, now I can just flow and, you know, take whatever, take my business, take whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because some way, shape, or form, like it's going to come back around. You know,
Karma, she's a mean.
Well, that's, you know, I have a lot of faith in that. And, you know, I don't know.
Well, it's like you don't have to necessarily. I heard it was like 15 years ago. You don't have to have. It's okay to have no faith in like the religion aspect of it. You gotta have faith in something, even if it's yourself.
Well, yeah, you know, I feel like it's based on the individual. I mean, granted, I didn't grow up, you know, going to church or anything like that. Like I'm, you know,
you're not open to it,
right?
Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, you know, for instance, my girlfriend embraces it. You know, if she doesn't go on Sundays, then she watches the live feed. You know, and I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm sure now being with her that I will start to at least experiment with that. And, you know, I'll listen to what this guy has to say. Yeah, I mean, I went to AA. You know, there was a lot of shit about AA that, you know, I was like, oh, my fucking word. Like, I don't want to listen to this. But you just take what you can use and apply it to your own life.
That tool set.
And the rest of it, you just leave there, you know? And so if I can just take, you know, some other people's personal stories and I can connect with that. But when they start yapping about God and all that shit, I can't connect with it. Then I just leave that there.
Yeah.
I don't need to make some sort of a judgment about it or anything like that. Like, oh, fuck this. Like, I'm not listening to that because you say God.
It doesn't vibrate with you.
Yeah, I don't know. And
like moments, and I'm not talking like the whole thing as a whole. I'm talking like maybe there's something that someone's saying that it doesn't really like.
Right. No, there was some nights in AA, like I sat there all fucking night and I didn't connect with shit.
Yeah.
These guys are going off about how fucked their life is, and I'm just like, yeah, no, like I can't even.
It's just another Tuesday.
Right. Sorry, dude. I don't know. I don't know about that. But then other nights I'm like, holy shit, like totally can dive right into it. And I go home and I think about it all night, and it help heal me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
little moments in time.
Again, I put enough time into myself at this point that I feel like I have a really good grasp on what it's going to take to find the real me, and I feel like I'm like this fucking close to it. So whatever gets thrown my way,
stay the process.
I'm just going to keep staying the course, and it's going to bring me exactly where I need to be. So I'm not fazed by all that much.
So you've learned like a shit ton about resilience.
Yeah.
And like I know we've talked before, like do you feel as though like in the past like 8-12 months you've just learned almost like a cheat code to learning like all this stuff about you, like that you didn't see? Like you said you did a lot of internal, and what I mean by that is like, do you feel you've learned more in the past 12 months than the past 4 years?
Yes.
How'd you do it? Was that
by accepting the fact that I'm a fuck up?
Okay.
Taking responsibility. You know what I mean?
And then did something just shift?
Once you accept the fact that you may actually be the source of all your flaws in your life, bring it on.
Yeah.
Because once you accept that, there's nothing anybody can do or say to beat you down.
Like, what would you say to somebody that maybe might be in that position that's looking for that little fucking get out?
Just give in.
Yeah.
Fucking push pride out of your life for a minute, even for just a second, because that's what it took. You got to get rid of that pride of, oh, I'm this or that or whatever. I'm a big, strong, tough guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Get rid of that bullshit. Accept the fact that you make fucking mistakes and then embrace it, and then I feel that's what I've done.
Sit with yourself for a moment.
Yeah. Hurt. I laid on a couch for a month, 2 months. Yeah, at least a month and a half. I'll say that. And felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No crutches, no nothing. Just sat there in the pain of all the shit. My divorce, like, I know a lot of that was my fault. I made a lot of mistakes throughout my marriage, and, I sat with it and I just let it hurt.
Yeah.
And, it just went through the motions of all that. And it was the first time I had really done that in my life. And, you need to give in to yourself. And man, there's a lot of fucking people that can't handle that.
No. It's scary. It's right. It's uncomfortable. It's
so uncomfortable. Yeah. I hated it. I was miserable, but I feel like it was the best choice I ever made, was to just sit there and take it. And did it result in something perfect? Fuck no. I'm so flawed even still.
Yeah.
And who knows, I always will be. But, I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But, it brought me the most forward in life that I could ever ask for.
And then there was, bam, you're winning.
Just, okay, I suck, and this is how. And I've been extremely determined not to bring that into my next relationship, because as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm 40 fucking years old. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to start over again. I really enjoyed being married. I want to be married again. And yeah, it'll be my third time around, which
3 times a charm.
fucking whatever. Like, I made some mistakes, if you can even call it that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I have a hard time with that word too.
yeah,
Mistakes.
it's not really a mistake. I mean,
Yeah, you don't. Because that right there, I mean, like, if you try to take away that, like, you don't want to ever do that. You don't want to take.
No.
I feel like you're losing out.
Right.
If you do that to someone just out of pettiness or.
Yeah. Just
like,
being mad, angry. No, it is what it is. I don't, I mean, I guess regardless if I know what I did and I know what I have control over and I know what I need to fix. And
you held yourself to an accountability factor of it.
Very much so. And I know she's, civil conversations between her and I just aren't a thing, but I also, I know that throughout this whole fucking process of divorce and everything else, like, I have not tried to cut her down or lash out at her in any way. And, for me, that's growth.
Well, and that's the hard part too, because a lot of people, how many fucking times I see it. I tattoo used to be couples.
Yeah.
Say no fucking names.
Right.
And it's always one person that's willing to accept their faults in the whole, and then one person not.
Right.
And there's 2 sides to the fucking coin. Like,
right. And somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's 3 sides to every story.
Yeah.
Fucking his, hers, and the truth.
Right.
And some people don't want to sit down, like you just talking about, sit down with themselves and be like, okay, I know I'm angry about this and this and this that they did, but let's sit the fuck down. Let's look at myself and where did I go wrong? What could I have done better? From their perspective, not your perspective.
Right.
From their perspective. Because, like, even to this day, there's sometimes things that I do that, like, I don't think about my wife's perspective on it, but then I find myself, 20 minutes down the road going, the fuck were you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty sure you and I had a conversation and I gave you a little bit different perspective on some things.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more of that, but the willingness to listen.
Yeah.
The willingness to understand a different side of the coin.
Dude, that's a skill that, I've had to learn big time as of recent is, listening to understand, not listening to respond.
Yep.
Because I was horrible about it. Like, bad.
I don't believe in it.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck it.
That, right. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Ain't true. And I know I did it to my ex-wife a lot. And, that was something that I realized after the fact was not right of me to do.
Yeah.
So that's something.
But at least you admitted it.
Oh, 100%. It's because it's something I don't want to do in my future relationship.
Yeah.
Like, and I wouldn't want it done to me either.
Yeah.
But it took me getting out of that to realize that.
Took you some pain.
Yeah. Well, nothing makes anybody grow more than pain.
No.
It's the best lesson, you got to go through some heartbreak. You got to get stabbed in the heart more than once to really learn anything in this fucking world. And, it's
almost like it's like a connective. Happy pain goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And revolving.
If you want to be the happiest you've ever been, you need to rip your fucking heart out.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is fucking, it is what it is.
Right. But
that gives you the understanding of what good is.
Right.
It makes you appreciate it. Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Like, I fucking hate my life and myself and everything about all this, and I hurt. Whatever, I want to throw up. And 6 months later, you're like, thank God.
Sweet.
Like, you wake up one day and you're just happy. Yeah.
Well, like, I always get that thought when I see a picture of you taking a picture out on your deck. That understanding of, like, from that pain grew the appreciation of just a simple fucking wind breeze.
Just a nice sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it totally has. You're absolutely right about all that. I've taken probably so many that people are fucking annoyed with me at this point. But fuck them. I don't care. Like, that's my happiness. So you can like it or you can just scroll on past. I don't give a shit. Like, I just fuck them. Yeah.
This is kind of where we're going to go into a little bit of advice and wisdom.
Yeah.
So let's say this is kind of deep. Let's say your son and your daughter watch this 10, 15 years from now.
Okay.
What is some advice or wisdom that you would pass down to their age self now? Knowing what you know now, if you could go back and talk to yourself.
Okay.
What type of wisdom would you give them?
Just don't ever stop like looking inward to better yourself. Like, it's been the biggest lesson I've learned all year. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming other people for your shit. Just take full responsibility for every aspect of your life. The everything that goes wrong and things that go right, but more so the things that go wrong in your life. Like, really reflect and look at your own part and why that didn't work out. Stop pointing fingers. Stop blaming everybody for everything.
Take a step back.
Just take a step back. Self-reflect. And figure out your own flaws, because there's nothing you can do about that other person's shit.
Yeah.
There's, but you have control over yourself and what you do. And if it fucked you in one situation, it doesn't have to fuck you in the next one. You can take the steps to rebuild and make yourself a better person for the next time around. So I guess if that was my, if I was going to give them any piece of information, or,
You're not a tree rooted in ground. You can bend and mold yourself.
Pick that fucker up and walk off with it.
Right. Got a branch off. Plant somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. You're not a cold weather plant, move to Florida. Just take responsibility.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your own life, whether you're happy or not, or whatever. Like, if you're unhappy, leave a situation. Don't go fucking cheat and shit. You know what I mean? Just move on.
Well, I mean, too, and I'll go one step further. If you're unhappy, do everything you possibly can to try to fix it.
Sure.
Because you never want to be 20 years down the road going, I should have tried that.
Yeah.
I regret not doing that.
Right.
You want no regrets.
Right.
And like coming from near-death experiences, you kind of make a promise with yourself. No more regrets.
Yeah.
I'm fucking doing it.
Right.
And if I did it and then I regret it later, no, I did it because I'm not going to make me have regrets.
Yeah.
So it's like sitting with yourself. Let's say you don't, and you wish you would have.
Right.
Just make the decision to just fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Just don't ever forget that, you might actually be the problem.
Yeah.
I know there are plenty of situations in my life where I was the fucking problem, and I just couldn't accept that.
Be okay with saying I fucked up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What can I do to make it better?
Right. And I've put a lot of work into that. So that's what I would give them.
Obviously, I think you're at the point of the life where you kind of want to leave a legacy, whether big or small.
Sure.
You definitely want at least your little ones to look up to you.
Yeah.
Not like, I want to be like my dad when he did this. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind you, if any?
That's a tricky one for me.
Yeah.
I guess I just
Take time, Randall.
Oh yeah, no, I I guess just that I just want to be remembered as somebody, maybe as a inspiration to somebody out there that you can go through an awful lot of shit that you have no control over, and you don't have to put a fucking pistol in your mouth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I've had a good handful of people ask me that straight up, like, and it was, it's a little shocking to be asked, like, well, Jesus, why haven't you killed yourself? And I have. People have asked me that. It's fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's
but goddamn, dude, like, you've been through a lot of shit, and you haven't put a gun in your mouth. No, what the fuck good does that do for my children or my own future? Like, have there been moments when I've been like, fuck, that'd be easier? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
but I haven't. Is it hard to fucking sit here and I mean, right now, like, I'm watching my father die of cancer. My mother is slowly being overcome by dementia. It ain't easy. It hurts a lot, and not to mention my own mother, but, my cousin Ryan, his mother as well, she's got full on, Alzheimer's. My Aunt Rhonda just had a heart attack last week. I mean, it's all hard shit. My dad can't do chemo anymore, so Mother Nature is just taking its course. That's something that's just as of recent, and it's all shit that sits inside me every single day, and it's hard as fuck. I'm losing both my parents. Not an easy thing.
No.
And but I have kids counting on me, and now I have this fucking wonderful woman in my life, and and I'm bringing her children into my life as well, and I'm not going to show them anything more than the best version of myself, and and it's to my children as well, because you need to be the strongest point.
Be the sword. Or put the sword down.
Be the sword. So I'm being the sword as best I can, which I have my moments, but I do those in private.
Yeah.
Because life is a cocksucker.
That book voice, that internal.
You just fucking suck it up. Am I worried about when my father passes, what that's going to do to me? And absolutely, because nobody caused me more trauma in my life either. So that's a thing. I'm having more trouble with my father because I had the most issues with him.
Yeah.
They
call it. It's like a double blind. There's no good outcome.
Not really. I mean, a lot of my life, I couldn't stand the man. And then I got to a point where I accepted him. And then our relationship grew. And now he's fucking dying.
Is there like any, maybe a thing in your brain where you're like, man, just give me more time?
I mean, yes and no. It's not, I don't look at it as necessarily give me more time, because I've been here the whole fucking time.
Okay. Yeah.
Smarten him the fuck up to give me that time, because I'm his son and I deserve that.
Yeah.
But he never did. So it's time lost.
Yeah.
And that's more of a struggle to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I owe my father anything. He owes me. Yeah.
That lost time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're at like a...
Yeah. And now the clock is fucking, there ain't much sand left in that dial, I don't feel.
Yeah.
So, it's a bullet to bite that is hard, but it just is what it is. It's what's been dealt.
Yeah.
So
can't change it.
No, can't change it. Can't slow it down.
No matter what you fucking try or do.
No, you just gotta take it.
Have you looked? I watch a lot of podcasts nowadays too, and like even Rogan talks about it and about the ivermectin when it comes to cancer. Has he tried to think of maybe any other option?
Yeah, he's done a bunch of shit. A bunch of shit that's been off of your standard treatment. But liver cancer is a motherfucker.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he had 2/3 of his liver removed, and it only came back stronger. His last chemo treatment gave him internal bleeding, so he had to get off that. And plus, his quality of life on that chemo treatment was shit. So he's better off not taking it and just, and he's been roughly a year past what they expected. So
he's a fighter.
Yeah. Oh fuck, my old man's a stubborn fuck.
Yeah.
And he's done really well right up until just the last few months, or honestly, with just his energy and doing shit and whatever, being up and about and all that. He's fuck. You wouldn't even know he was sick. But as of lately, there's been, at least for me, there's been a noticeable decline. And but who knows? He might last another year.
Who the fuck knows? You ain't taking me.
Yeah, he said he's a resilient, tough old fuck. So who knows? But it's the anticipation has been the worst fucking part of all this. Anticipating
because
the end.
Don't know,
right? Past 4 years, sitting with that anxiety all the time of who the fuck knows? Could be tonight, could be tomorrow, could be 2 weeks from now. You just never know, and
yeah, that fucking gets me in my feels because I'm 1,400 miles away from my dad.
Yeah.
So I think about, I did the math when they were up for the wedding, and he's like, "Don't think about that shit, son." And it's like, well, I have no other ways to think about it.
Right.
If I see you once a year for the next, let's say, average lifespan 80, if I see you once a year,
right,
I got maybe 6 years left with you, or 6 times with you.
Could be
fucking 2 years.
Right.
Don't think about that, son.
Yeah.
Why?
And you can't.
That's the sun.
You realistically, you can't, but it's hard not to.
That's the sun in us.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with me and them, because I think not enough people do, and I think there's a lot of people that sit there and bask in themselves when they're in these moments like that, and don't understand that you could probably go outside, walk around, and see someone that's in the same fucking position you're in.
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't even know.
And it doesn't make you weak or anything else. You know what I mean? It's your parents.
Yeah.
I mean, for me anyway, I wish my relationship with my father through the majority of my life had been a lot different than it has, but I don't look at myself as a weak person for allowing myself to feel all that shit.
Yeah,
and
like when you deny it, when it's
way worse. It causes way worse issues.
Fuck
that. I'm sick of all that shit having a factor in my life today. You know what I mean? It did for too long. It's angry for too long over shit that happened years ago that I had no control over anyway. So I'm just done with letting that shit run my life.
But I got one final question.
Sure.
Actually, 2.
Yeah.
Because you talked about, would it be easier to put a gun to your head?
Oh, yeah.
People in that, there's a lot of people that think that. What's one piece of advice that you'd give, let's say there's somebody in the audience right now watching in that fucking very moment, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
To not? It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I mean, yeah, it's going to fucking suck when my father passes away, but I'm going to continue to live on past that, and, who knows what's going to happen after that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could be your greatest moments
Could be
of life.
the happiest time of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and so just no matter how bad it sucks, don't quit. You know, you can swallow your pride a little bit, you know, on accepting your own faults and things like that, but you know, don't have so much pride that you fucking do something stupid like that. I've had to curl up in a fucking ball and cry for hours and bullshit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That even I, in the moment, was like, "What a fucking," you know what I mean? Like, God damn it, Trav! Like, what the fuck are you doing? But I still go on to the next day and can build myself back up. You know, so
yeah,
don't do it. You know,
yeah,
it's just
ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. It's a permanent solution, and it only hurts everybody in your life.
Every fucking buddy,
right? You know, which, you know, and I feel bad for people that have experienced that and have had people that have happened. You know, I'm not trying to like
degrade it or
degrade what has happened or anything like that. You know, everybody's in their own situation, and it's fucking horrendous. You know, like
it's never good for anybody.
Fuck no.
Even the doer.
No, you know it's super tragic, and I feel bad for anybody who's had to go through that and experience that.
Well, then you got to also look at the people that did it or tried it and made it through it, did die.
Right.
They always say, always. And I'm a firm believer, learn from everybody else's mistakes because you can't quite live long enough to learn from your own. They always say the moment they either jumped or pulled the trigger, they regretted it instantly.
Oh, yeah.
So taking all of that into consideration, like why?
Right. Don't do it.
Don't
do it. You know, I mean, there was once upon a time that, you know, there was one time in particular where, you know, some cops definitely chased me through the woods, and, you know, I had a 12 gauge and things were getting pretty hot, and, you know, it was a rough night, but that was a long time ago, and I'm so glad that I didn't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Even though you know, since then I've been through a lot of shit, but you know, I still don't regret not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that female officer was awful nice to me. She didn't tackle me or anything like that. You know,
knew where your head was at, probably.
Oh yeah. You know, granted, I had guns drawn on me, but it was, you know, excuse me, sir, just please put that shotgun down. Not, you know.
Yeah.
Not anything crazy, you know, and fuck, I was in my early 20s, you know, it was a wild time. But, you know.
If you could sit down with your 14, 15-year-old self, what would you tell him about the life you've lived?
Oh, God. Maybe a little less sex, drugs, and motorcycles, and, you know, a little more like focus, and yeah, done some wild shit. You know, had a good time, but I wish maybe I had taken some other things more as a priority in my younger days than what I actually have. You know, but it's a path that I was put on.
Fuck it.
I've had a hell of a fucking time, let me tell you.
You gotta live.
Yeah.
You know, if you, I know you ain't gotta be religion, but if Jesus died on the cross for our sins, you gotta have a couple.
Well, I tell you.
You know what I mean?
I've stacked up a few. I have lived a life of sin, and I'd do it again. You know what I mean? But I do wish I had been a little more focused on priority, you know, some better priorities in my life.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Like, spent awful lot of time just fucking off. You know,
maybe in the next life.
Maybe, you know, but then again, I'm 40. I'm not dead yet.
No, that's true.
You know, I mean, I figure I got roughly another 30 years left in me. You know what I mean?
Fuck it. You probably got 50, 60 years left in you.
Maybe. Who knows? I'm an asshole.
If meds and fucking all the medical shit keeps going the way it's going, dude, you know what I mean? We might fucking live to be 110, 130.
I mean, I'm stoked to fuck, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like I said,
I don't know if I want to live that.
I've damaged a lot of my fucking body, and internally and externally. So,
yeah,
you know, had some hard nights. But who knows? You know, I've had a good time.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I'll come in skidding, you know what I mean?
Well,
fucking on 2 wheels.
That's all that matters.
Bike on fire.
Lived your life to the fullest.
That's right. You know, so I don't regret any of it at all. You know, I wouldn't be who I am today without it. And I definitely feel like, you know, right now at 40 years old, I'm the best version of myself I've ever been, even with some flaws.
Yeah.
I said that a couple of years ago, but I was trying like a motherfucker to be this perfect guy in this perfect marriage and to this perfect woman that in hindsight it was all toxic as shit. You know what I mean?
No perfection.
None at all. Like toxic as shit.
We don't find nature to be perfect because of the perfection. It's the imperfect that makes it perfect.
Fucking right. You know, and now I'm slightly well, it's not even slightly, I'm flawed, but I'm happy as a motherfucker with my flaws, and I found somebody with some flaws too, and we're just gonna mash those together and make it a great situation. So fuck it. Embrace the flaws.
It's like that old Chinese way of fixing cups, like the old they used to, if a cup broke, they weave it with like gold, and it's the same cup, but it's weaving with gold pieces. The flawed, still flawed,
yeah,
but it's still a cup.
Yeah, still cup, still holds water.
Even better looking than what it was before.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, like I healed to the point I could heal as far as I could on my own, and I needed that extra push. And I found that. Yeah. And I think she's in the same spot.
So you sound happy.
Dude, I'm good.
Yeah.
I accept life for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it ain't perfect at all.
On to the next one.
Yeah. You know, just next chapter. And, you know, 2025 so far started out really good. You know, I mean, this whole thing with her and I started on New Year's, literally the first fucking 30 seconds of 2025.
Yeah.
So if, you know, that's how my new year has kicked off, and it's still
such a transformation too.
Oh yeah. Such a rocky, shitty 2024.
Yeah.
To immediately in 2025 starting off on a right foot. You know what I mean? So granted, I'm still going through some rocky shit. Yeah, but is it? Or is it just is it just, you know,
growing pains?
Right. It's the shit blizzard, you know what I mean? Like Trailer Park Boys type stuff, you know? We just gotta get through that shit blizzard. And fucking leave.
Well, you got about, I'd say, 30 seconds to a minute to talk about anything you want. You want to talk? You want to bring up something? You want to like push? Thank anybody? You want to?
Yeah. I mean, I'll thank for sure. You know, my very tight circle of people that have been here for me over the past year, that know more than the rest as far as what I've been through. My own shit, my own faults that I've put myself in and had to climb out of, you know, as far as holes, and, you know, I'm flawed, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thanks for just never leaving my corner, because without you, I don't know what would have happened. So love you guys, and love you, Kay. Love you, Connor. Thanks for dealing with me. I'm your dad till you have to, but at the same time, you don't have to. You can, you know, you can tell me to fuck off. You know, I'd be okay with that. But I know you won't, because you love me. I'm the coolest fucking dad. Fuck you. So. Anyway.
Thanks for fucking joining me this evening, love.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. It takes a lot to kind of sit the fuck down and open up. You know what I mean? And most people ain't got the balls to do it. So I'm happy you did it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, I'm hoping others learn from even just one. If I can help one person with raw, organic stories, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope you had fun here.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
Hopefully, I got a feeling you could probably do 2 or 3 of these fucking bad boys with enough stories you got.
I got plenty. So have me back. I'll do it again. We can go on to a totally different subject. Oh,
There's tons of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget about me.
I won't.
You know,
most definitely.
I feel like I just exposed a part of me that a lot of people haven't really heard or seen. So
that's good.
Real shit.
Do it. I think the more fucking people get along and the more shit, less shit we got to deal with in this fucking divided world.
Right.
The division comes from the lack of understanding of everyone else.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, that was a good one. It was deep. That was raw. Odds are we're gonna have fucking. Okay, so this one will be out after Mike's figured out the schedule. I can't do this weekly shit. I'm not built tough enough for it till I get a guy that's a fucking tech guy. This is a one-man op, so the amount of shit I got to deal with is just a workload. So we're going to do a bi-weekly. This coming Sunday, I believe it is what's today?
It'll be the 18th. Sunday.
Yeah. Is it?
No.
It's the 20.
It's 21st, so it'll be. Fuck, I don't know, man.
It's here. So we got this coming Sunday.
27th.
27th.
There you go.
Travis's will be out not that following Sunday, but the next after that. We got a little trailer-esque type fucking him burning rubber. It's like it's straight production style, so it's like a little mini trailer. And then we did a little kind of behind the scenes that I'm going to put out that Wednesday after his full version that kind of goes over a little basis of if his object that he showed us could talk, like if it was a fly.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Love you guys for comment, subscribe, follow. Let's make it happen. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Have a good day.